Hi, my name is Madeline Harkins, and today I'm going to talk about eating disorders. There are three primary types of eating disorders. There's anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating. Anorexia is probably the most popular one as far as when people think about eating disorders. It's the idea of starvation, not putting anything in your body, excess exercise, a very girls that have anorexia tend to struggle with being underweight and having an identity in themselves that they are always too large. They can never be good enough. They can never be skinny enough. Bulimia is the ones who generally look normal. They generally hold to a more average, healthy size weight, but the way in which they hold it is very not healthy. They tend to do the overeat and then purge method. So they'll eat everything they can, fill up their bodies till they're sick, and then purge through excess induced vomiting or taking laxatives so that they get all of it out of their system. The last one is binge eating, which is very much overindulgence. It's probably the one that's most like an addiction. A study that I read when doing this project said that people that struggle with binge eating think about food for over 70% of their day. So I don't know about you, but that feels like a lot of my day. So these people are generally overweight. They find food a satisfaction for many things. For emotional eating, they are happy eaters. They are, you name it, they tend to eat. So I want to focus a little bit more so on binge eating. Honestly, if it wasn't for the Lord, I would probably be a binge eater. I love food way too much. But the technique that I want to talk about today is replacing food with prayer. I know that seems super, super simple, but every study that I've read over and over doesn't give a lot of details for how to deal with helping someone other than go slowly, encourage them to move in small steps. With children specifically, it's hard to help them move because all they can think about is, am I going to eat this or am I not going to eat this? Their brain just isn't working in a way that is going to be, what's the word I'm looking for, normal or anyway, they just can't think properly. So a lot of the material is about girls and their adolescence because that's the largest majority. In fact, a study said that anorexia is the number one mental illness for suicide causation among teenagers. And so just thinking about all of the different techniques or the lack thereof, but how they apply to teenage girls. So with binge eating in particular, because it's very similar to an addiction, but it's different from an addiction because you can't just stop eating because that's also not healthy. And so with binge eating, you have to take it very slowly. You have to change what you're eating. It has to be more of a progression and almost what feels like a diet. And well, sometimes and a lot of times for people that are stuck in a cycle of addiction, those just don't work. So one of the books that I read specifically focused on how to change the way we think using the idea that as believers, if your client is a believer, is self-control. So every time you think about, oh, I want that mozzarella stick, oh, I want that cheeseburger, oh, I want that whatever, like pray that the Lord would take away that desire. Pray earnestly, pray consistently, seek him out overall, because ultimately the desire for him should be greater than the desire for the food. And then along with that, encourage others to come in with you. Community is ridiculously important when it comes to eating disorders. So often people that are in eating disorders put themselves in isolation because they make the eating disorder become a friend or a god. And so bring someone along with you. Allow them to be someone who encourages you to stop to choose prayer over eating, to choose the gospel over eating. So that is what I encourage you to do.